Good evening and welcome to the show. I'm hearing feedback. I got to figure out what's going on. Don't know why that's happening. All right, so turn your volume down, everybody, and let's get straight to it. Sorry, PMJ, not right now. We know we got it. You are tuned in to the Abby Award winning Vital Show right here on V949 WATV, Lady Woo's show with the crew. So the crew tonight is a very special crew. Some friends of mine have joined me in studio to have a conversation from a mother's perspective. We're going to talk about a lot of things from a mother's perspective. So, one time for all of you who are viewing, happy Mother's Day to you. And to all the guys who are watching and listening, hello to you as well. To our regular viewers and regular listeners, thank you so much. To all of you who are new that are just riding through the city or, you heard about, I don't know, however you found out about us, thank you for tuning in tonight. This is going to be a great show. So, before we go any further, if you want to see us, you can come in to Facebook right now, either on the V949 page. You can come on my page, Lady Woo, on Facebook, my personal page. I'm there as well. We're on YouTube as Vital Show, and we're somewhere else right now too. Let me see what the other page is. Oh, Vital Show on Facebook. So we are everywhere. So if you want to go to any of those streams, you can find us. And then those who are in studio are also sharing. Hey, Shantae. Happy Mother's Day to you and all the other mothers. Hey, Courtney. Hello, hello, hello. All right. So let's get straight to it. In studio with me tonight, I have who? I'll let you introduce yourselves.
The Truth with Amy.
The Truth with Amy. Y'all talk directly on mics.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, let me turn my mic on. Oh, mine ain't even on. And Nina, you have me. I'm here.
awesome. Welcome, ladies. So, you all, if you know the history of the show, I told you back in, well, it was just last month. Last month we celebrated 13 years. So in those 13 years, we've had a lot of people to be a part of the show and to be down with the crew. And Amy, the truth with Amy, was one of those people. Amy really left her mark. So welcome back,
Thank
Amy.
you.
This
I'm
is
happy to
like,
be back.
yeah, somebody that I know I can, we talk and we can talk for hours about every and anything all the time, just randomly, and have made our own special friendship. And then Nina. So a lot of you all know Miss Nina, the firefighter. That's
That's
how
the
they know
sexy
you.
firefighter.
Yeah, that's how they know Nina. So
Body,
let's
yada, 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 yada.
let's get into why you ladies are here. So we said it's about Mother's Day. And we chose this Sunday to have this conversation for a few reasons. But Nina, you were the one that kind of uh you put us together in this particular setting, even though I just told the whole story about how Amy and I got connected. Um, tell us why we're here. Like what is it that made you reach out to this group of ladies that you reached out to and for what?
Well, first and foremost, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Good.
you can pull it out. Like pull it straight
Yeah.
out. There you go.
So first and foremost, I need to readjust, honey. Wait a minute.
So pull it straight.
Oh no, 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 that's not doing it.
Either
Here we go.
that.
Here we go. Here we
Yeah,
go.
okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So first and foremost, what happened was I get a frontline view
Mhm.
of what we have going on in the city. And I tell people all the time, I was like, whenever something happens, yeah, you do call 911 and you
Yeah.
get the police,
Mhm.
right? So the police usually gets there after whatever has happened,
Right.
and they have to secure it before we can go there. Well, if there is any type of destruction, we're there in order to make it better.
Mhm.
And as a parent, as a mother, as an aunt, as a sister, when I see my citizens remind me of my family.
Right.
So when I look at their faces remind me of my cousins and everyone else.
Mhm.
And I am grateful for our advocates in the city. However, what happened was I just got fed up with the we need to march.
Mhm.
We need to talk about it. We need to just get together and we're going to march. We're just tired of it. And I got tired of that. So I said, would be my uncle. What really worked for me was we were able to women have always been the foundation for a lot of things. And so I felt like we needed diversity. So I reached out to people that I felt were powerhouses in the community. I reached out to Amy. I reached out to you. I reached out to Sports Bay, so I love her.
Yes, what's back?
I
That's
reached out to a young lady
workout mom.
from LaDonna Collins, who's a 911. Who was a 911 dispatcher, but now
Mhm.
she is a firefighter, so she gets it from the call perspective.
Right.
I reached out to Devin from I See Me because she reaches such younger children, as well as Miss McClure.
Mhm.
Because she's always had her hand in everything that we have going on in the city.
Right.
And in that, we kind of got together and decided, okay, as a collective, we would become Concerned Sisters United. Everyone is against everything. It's the war against drugs. You know what I'm saying? The fight against crime. And we're not trying to be against it as it would be the precipice of us, fighting other people. We're not trying to fight it. We're trying to heal it,
Okay.
which is one of the reasons why I ran to you, Woo, because you give that perspective of looking at the foundation of
Yeah.
what the problem is, because nobody wants to start from the foundation.
Right. Thank you. So that's why we're here. Um, for those of you who are watching and listening, Nina is going to click in so that you can see who was speaking because I think that's important for you to know who you're listening to when you're watching. But when you're listening, it's just like regular radio. You just hear the voices. But this is one of those messages that I think all of us are affected and impacted by. And the conversation that we have or that we're going to have is not your average conversation. So when we sat down, I made it to the second meeting and Amy was excited about. She's like, "Well, you gonna like it because and we like, sis, we got to talk each other into this thing
Right.
like another
Right.
meeting." Oh
Right.
no, I'm good. But the Amy, tell me about or tell the people, I guess what it was that was exciting about that type of meeting for you. Because Nina just said what the meeting was about. Why was that exciting?
Well, I have sons. I have three sons, and there's a lot of violence going on in the
Yeah.
community. And I also was in a situation where I witnessed abuse of power.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I felt like that was an opportunity for me to get in and help the poor, help the uneducated and undereducated, and even help single parents out there with children
Mm-hmm.
that are struggling. Because most of our homicides, I would say, would they come from the people that are dying are coming from maybe single parent households,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe I can make a difference
Yeah.
because I've raised three so far successful sons
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
as a single parent, and
So
I worked in a detention center.
So you've seen once again, you've seen it from different aspects of
Mm-hmm.
how what's happening in the
Hmm.
world
Hmm.
happens, like how it actually happens and how people are affected.
Hmm.
So what are we looking to do? Like if you just had to put like a momentary mission statement to it, what is the mission?
I am looking to be a mom, more of a mom. That's just me. That's my
Your
role.
personal
That's
mission.
that's my personal mission. To be a mom and to stop abuse of power. To be able to do what we can to curb the violence. What
Mm-hmm.
can we do? Maybe we need to parent other people's children. Be a part of the village.
Yes.
I
So
Okay.
want to
with
be a
that
mom in the
is
village.
that's
Okay.
that's the purpose of the uniting. We're not doing this as a foundational thing to say that this is just us.
No.
It's kind of like a spider web. So we're reaching out to other women who have those same concerns
Hmm.
and those same issues. This is not one of those things where you find people that are showboating and grandstanding and saying I. This is a collective of sisters because just like some would not really understand it, but the 6 degrees of separation is in this city
Oh
is
yeah.
really not 6 degrees. It's like
Yeah.
three for us.
Hmm.
And in that three, we know somebody that is family to somebody, or if they're not a relative of our own. Um, I've been impacted by gun violence.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about having a young cousin that I changed his diapers, and he was number 46 in 2016, and
Mm-hmm.
he was murdered by his own cousin. So when you say that, it's you have to have an understanding at the family dynamic.
Yeah.
It's the reaching out and saying something. And I found that what happens is in the community, people don't want to say nothing to
Mm-mm.
other folks.
Mm-mm.
You're scared to talk to your neighbor. You're scared to do this because you lack the know-how to talk to your sister or see when your sister is hurting. So when you lack that, you become defensive also instead of seeing that that is what the issue is.
Hmm. So being able to get
Yeah.
in the conversation, like we say, well, what's the mission? What are you all looking to do? Like, why is this something that's different? Why is this necessary? So many other groups out there. You got Mothers Against Violence. You got this. You got that. You got this people. You got this group. These people doing this. You got gun buybacks. Is there ever enough to be done?
Never.
Never.
Then the other part of it is the level of intensity of our conversation. So there were some things that we sat down to have this meeting that came up for us that said, okay, this needs to be shared in this way on a public platform so that the conversation can start in that way. That's what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, in no particular order. Amy, you probably took notes at the meeting.
I did.
For sure.
In
Oh,
no,
yeah.
listen, I did. Mhm.
Yep, got 'em.
In no particular order, though, one thing that came to mind for me was when we were talking about robbery or being victimized.
Yes. Ooh,
And
honey, you are on fire. Yes, ma'am. Share.
Yeah, okay, so like
Share.
speaking from a mother standpoint, speaking
Mhm.
from a woman's standpoint, that's a conversation that a lot of people can relate to, but we don't tell our experiences. When we don't share our experiences, we think that we're the only ones. It's just me, and I held on to this trauma that happened to me, and then I developed a phobia or I developed a hatred toward blah 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 because you never had a chance to talk about it.
And
Right.
people
We
are
sat
afraid to
there.
tell their business.
Right.
Hello?
Or somebody's gonna talk about me or whatever the case.
Mhm.
We were able to have a conversation where we saw that we had all processed past what happened, but we all had that in common. So talking about being victimized. And Amy, I think your story was the one that was like, what?
Yeah, like, well, really? Dang.
So that one stuck out, and Donna's, but she's not here to tell her. So
Mhm.
do you mind sharing what you shared with us just to get the conversation started
Mhm.
about how it can end up 3 degrees separated that somebody is then killed or somebody else has been traumatized in the community?
Whew, Jesus. Okay. For one, yeah, I don't want to tell nothing. You know, you see something happening, you don't want to say anything. But what if it's you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm.
If something happened to you, you walking down the street, somebody snatch your purse, push you down, rob you, or
Mhm.
something like that. Matter of fact, let's go to when our apartment got broken into and
That's
somebody
that one.
said we saw somebody messing with the doors, but we didn't say anything because it wasn't us.
Right.
Not
So
because we didn't know if you all had ordered Papa Lock or something like that.
Right.
nothing.
Just because it wasn't us.
Just because
Okay.
it wasn't
Okay.
us. So
Mhm.
because it wasn't you getting broken into, you didn't call the police when you saw this man going to different doors trying to get in.
Okay.
And then we wake up with a sawed off double barrel shotgun in our face, and my baby get up out her carrying out. What if that would have startled him and he would have shot my baby?
Mm.
You know, so that was then he I talked to him, you know, because I'm trying to look him in the eye. Because
Uh-huh.
we look at enough CSIs and IDs, you know, channels to see, okay, let me look him in the eye because he's covered. His face is covered. I'm looking him in his eye. I'm talking to him. He's asking me about things and stuff. And then when it's all over with, this man asked me to lock my door behind me after he done fondled me, after he violated me, held a gun on my husband. You tell me to lock my door behind me. And then when I go to court, it's like they're protecting him.
Mm.
You provide this man with an attorney
Mhm.
to protect him after he have victimized somebody.
Mhm.
And he got off and he did it again.
And did it again.
Oh, so if you would have never so you experienced that, but if you never had the opportunity to speak out and share about it, we wouldn't have like then what?
Right.
Like I walk around, I hold this in,
Right.
and now I'm fearful. I'm fearful to be in my home. I'm fearful of. I mean, like, what did it do?
Girl, when I even talked about it on Facebook, some of the people on Facebook were so cruel. As if to say I'm lying. I heard I was lying. How is she gonna do a video about somebody broke? I wouldn't even be able to do a video
Yeah,
of
when
somebody broke into my
home.
house.
Yep.
You know, people was talking about my husband because they actually was trying to crack on him because he couldn't do anything. We had a
A double
double
barrel
barrel
shotgun.
sawed off shotgun in our face. Okay. he felt bad because I put it out because he thought people were gonna think he was
Judge him.
weak. You know, and I'm like, no, baby, no. You protected us by not moving
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
man told you if I hear you make a sound in here, I'm gonna kill
Kill her.
her in there. I'm like, be still, it'll be okay. But yeah, I had to talk about it. And a lot of times we don't talk about things. And why can't we? Why is it wrong to talk about when you've been a victim?
Yeah.
Right.
Why do I have to risk being judged or beaten down?
So when the people that are the ones that commit the crimes and the ones that victimize people, they're somebody's sons and somebody's daughters. Happy Mother's Day, mothers.
Happy Mother's Day.
Okay.
And somebody in court, somebody sitting in court praying that he get off.
Because that's his
Because
mother,
that's their child.
right? So it's a complicated conversation to have, but we're going to have it tonight because it's necessary. And I think that the connectors that we miss are that we don't talk about things from the right perspectives. We only talk about it from whatever the moment presents us with. So considering that right now at this present time we're not in a moment of turmoil or crisis, we can have
Right.
this conversation.
Right.
Okay. This is not a reactive conversation where, there was just 10 people shot yesterday at the so and so. No, it's not that. But I will say this, there was a 9-year-old shot in Ensley
Mhm.
Friday, I think,
Yes.
because somebody was shooting,
Outside.
just shooting somewhere else.
Mhm.
Happy Mother's Day, mothers. Your
Happy Mother's
9-year-old
Day.
just shot, right?
Right.
Happy Mother's Day. We found your son and his girlfriend shot in the car. Like, what do you all think that does when you get involved in things where your families have to get phone calls like that, or where you find out that somebody victimized your relatives? Like, what does how that circles, right?
Right.
Like, how does that circle?
So everybody's afraid to talk, and everybody's afraid to stand up and sweep on their own front porch. That's what I found. Um, in doing what I do in my profession, we go into many homes where you can look at these children or young men and young women and know exactly where they're going. And if you say something, the parents are like, don't be worried about what I got going on in my house. You need to check your own because I got this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and the third, swinging hair, whatever, in your face. I got something to tell you. I'm going to give you like a great uh story about it. I had a young guy, because I also teach. Young guy was getting in a lot of trouble. Wasn't doing well in school. Was old. He was going to age out. But I noticed that whenever I put him through the program, he worked extremely well with his hands.
Okay.
Like his reading level, comprehension level was like on a 3rd grade level in high school. And he was like 18 taking sophomore classes. I said, baby, you need to get your GED. He was like, what? I said, I'm gonna hook you up with a dude over at Lawson State. You need to get your GED. He says, okay, I feel like this is a thing. I said, I'm gonna hook you up with a guy that worked for a construction company over here. He's gonna teach you how to work a bobcat. And from there, you'll be able to work a backhoe. So now we're getting you a job that's going to get you what you need to get. Well, the child is doing well, right? Mama comes up the junior year trying to figure out what is going on. How is it going to happen? What are we going to do in order to make this better, right? So she didn't know that her child was making money. So when she walks into my room, they told him, well, he doesn't go to school here. And so he tells her, he was like, well, Miss Taylor told me I need to get my GED, da 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 da. So she swings back to me, like mad, ready to get at it. So she's talking to me, and I said, okay. She was like, well, if he wasn't making this money in these streets, I probably would be mad at you because he paid these bills. He paid that real estate beer. He got all this going on, this, that, and the other. So I looked at him and I said, Pooh Bear, because that's what I called him. I said, Pooh Bear, did you tell your mama that you work at this construction company? He said, no, ma'am. Because they don't never want to say no, ma'am. They said, no, ma'am. I said, oh, okay. Did you tell her that you had benefits? No, ma'am. Did you tell her that you're making $19 an hour in training? He said, no, man. You mean to tell me he got a job? He around here making money? This, that, and the other. She said, oh, you just trying to raise him to be better than me. He ain't gonna be better than me. I got this, that, and the other. She literally bagged out. And then when she bagged out, I was like, he was so embarrassed. He was almost in tears. She said, I'll fix this, S. And she pulled up and she hit my car.
Oh, wow.
And then she backed off and she drove off. He was so embarrassed. He was like, whatever it costs, I'll pay to fix it. You ain't gotta
And this is the mother.
This is the mother.
We had a situation like that.
Happy Mother's Day.
Where the kids were, these elementary school age kids were behind.
Mm-hmm.
The new principal came in offered to help this parent get these kids ahead, put them in summer programs and everything.
Right.
Okay.
We also, when we did the when we took the kids on the water, the skiing trip,
Okay.
I went to that particular family. My nonprofit decided we would sponsor that family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to that lady all the way up till I walked to her door, and she did not answer her door to give me the kids to take the kids on the skiing trip. And she did not put the kids in the program
Mm,
that the principal set up, and she moved.
mm,
So when the village becomes a violation, the
mm-hmm.
village is violating. You're going too far. You want to be vital. That's great, village, but now you're exposing me and my shortcomings trying to help my family, and I got it. And then those are the families who continue to suffer and continue to cause and wreak havoc in the communities.
Right.
Happy Mother's Day. Because these are mothers who we do, we see the cycles, right?
Right.
So with us having these conversations and doing this work, knowing that that is a part of what you encounter, do you stop or
No.
what do you do? So we're going to answer that when we come back from the break. You're listening to Vital right here on B94.9 WATV. What's the name of our organization?
CSU.
Concerned
Concerned
Sisters
Sisters
United.
United.
All right, we'll be right back in just a few. It's Vital.
Okay, so I need you to
All right,
pivot on
everyone.
this
So
one.
we'll be right back in like 2 seconds. Just hold tight. Hold tight.
I like how people don't send you text messages until they see you see them on live. You wouldn't communicate. Not you. I'm talking. But
And we're back. B949 WATV. This is Vital. I am Lady Wood. Let me try. Okay, yeah, y'all can hear me. This is Vital, Mother's Day edition 2021. Welcome back. So we're having one of those conversations that people have. Like I have these type of conversations with my family and with my friends, clearly. But you hardly ever hear the real of the conversation on a public platform. You always hear it watered down or made friendly for media sake or for conversation's sake. So I like to always put this out there. I am not just a person that shares my opinion. Like I don't believe that that's like anybody can do that. You
Mhm.
can have a whole show based on your opinion. That's not proper. That's not journalism.
Mhm.
That's not fair to the people to have something that's just opinion based. There are some things that have to be evidence based and factual, and so I pride myself and my peers on being people who are well versed in what they speak on. So that's why we're having this conversation. Nina being a first responder, Amy being a black mother to three boys, like three men at this
Mhm.
point that have you having been a single mom
Mhm.
and just your whole story, whole situation makes you credible. Same for me, like having experienced things, but not only that, but going to get credentials necessary to help me do my job in a way that I'm not just around here uh giving advice or speaking from somewhere that is not credible. So you have people having credible conversations and trying to find solutions. So that's what we're doing on this Mother's Day. We wanted to spend it in a way that really meant something. We could have just talked about it could have been an average Mother's Day show. Like when you talk about, well, my mama did this, my mama did that. Awesome, great.
Mhm.
But what about those mamas that don't know what to do? What about
How
Mm,
those
can we
mamas that
even?
that need the extra push?
right.
How can we help them if they don't even want to be helped?
That's where we left
Mm,
off. Okay, so that's where we just left from, and like what that's about. Like, how does that even become a thing? Why is that even a thing? Shout out to those of you commenting on the live. I appreciate you guys there in the comments. Thank you for sharing and thank you for listening. Somebody says that, hey, greetings, an important yet gut wrenching conversation. I am listening and learning. Thank you, sisters. I really, really hate to hear what happened to Nina's cousin being killed and also what happened to Amy and her family. All of that is awful, and those unlawful people should be prosecuted to the fullest by the law. I don't care who the perpetrators are. So, different opinions about how things happen and how people are impacted. But tonight's conversation is going to cover a lot of it, just a whole lot of it. So, when you all see the headlines, so first of all, how often may you get a call to one of these particular big stories that everybody ends up seeing
anytime I go to work,
every time?
every single time. So we have a an app basically.
Uh huh.
And once I promoted up, I decided that I needed to be a little bit more proactive than reactive because I'm a person that believes in being proactive. You got to get ahead of it.
Okay.
And the crime is happening and the mental illness because the way you look at it, baby, it is mental illness.
Yeah.
And it's
Is
famous.
happening over the entire city. Even though I may be assigned to one pocket,
Mm-hmm.
where I am as captain, I get to maneuver to promote up to the chief position.
Okay.
The chief position handles a whole what is a battalion, and on any given day, I'm in any of those 1-5 battalions,
Okay.
which means I encompass the whole city. The beauty of it is I've had family in all 5 battalions.
Mm-hmm.
So if something comes out, I don't need Google Maps. I
Like
don't
you kind of
need
know where to go.
right. Literally, I hit
I
an
know what's
address. I'm
happening.
like, that's by Auntie so and so house. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So I can roll in and just be like, cool, that's a Winona. I can roll in and be like,
Yeah, I done
cool,
been in
that's
the
in
car with
Roebuck.
her.
Cool, that's in West End. Cool, that's in because once a cross street is given to me, I kind of have a
You
gauge
figure it
on
out.
it.
Yeah.
Right. But what happens is I have rolled up on scenes and I've gotten there and people have seen my face and go, oh my God, Nina, I'm so glad you're here. Can you save them? And it's a really heart wrenching experience to have somebody, first of all, call you by name
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because, like, we know you and
Mhm.
there's an expectation for you to stick your
Do
fingers in
something.
bullet wound
Right.
Yeah. Do
holes or
something.
hold pressure on it. And so there are many days that I go back and my clothes are full of blood
Mm-hmm.
and I'm having to watch it dry on me and wipe it off of my arms because I'm trying to save someone. Prime example. There was a shooting of a young man who was at the strip club down here on
Mm-hmm.
Third Avenue,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it was allegedly over a lighter, right?
Yeah,
He was
I
shot
remember
over
hearing
a
about
lighter,
that. Yeah.
right? So we pull up on the scene. The police secured the scene extremely quick. Dude was talking and leaned up against a car when we got there. And I started talking to him. and he grabbed my hand and he said, "You don't go anywhere." Now I ride on the engine. So if you guys don't understand, the engine gets there and then the rescue unit gets there. The rescue unit is what takes you to the hospital.
Right.
I'm the officer on the engine. So I got in the back with him because he grabbed my hand and was like, "Hey, don't go anywhere." I was like, "All right, cool." So I'm getting the information from him because I need to try to get him to keep thinking. The more you talk, the better it is for you. I've noticed that. If you talk to the victims, you're able to reach them because they
yeah.
are a victim.
Mhm.
And he gave me his last rites. And in his last rites, he said to me, quote unquote, "Dean," you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I can cuss.
Don't. 'Cause I don't know what words you
Right.
may want to say.
It's the DA, you know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
you
He
say
meant
that.
that, you know what I'm saying? He was like, "I just had a baby." And I said, "Oh, well, I'm sorry. I wrote down male. I should have been writing down female." And he looked at me and he said, "I needed that." He said, "But this is what I just did. You know, I see all the babies that people post on social media adopt their dad is dying." And he said, "I know I just made my son that way. I got a brand new son."
Oh wow.
Then he whipped out his phone with his bloody hand and he showed me a picture of that child. And he said, "When my baby gets old enough, I need you to tell my baby this." And then he gave me his last rites right there in the back of that unit. And I said to him, I was like, "No, you're gonna tell your son yourself." And he looked at me and it's an impending look of doom when they give it to you.
Right.
Right. But he trusted that with me. Now his child should be like 5 now. That baby might have been about 5 months then. So I
Mhm.
don't think that child will be ready to comprehend. I did put a feeler out on Facebook to try to find out who the family was, and I posted the picture of him. And
Yeah.
was like, "Hey, this dude left something with me for me to verbally give to this child so this child will know that his father loved him from a perfect stranger." And it was certain things that he told me that I know that they wouldn't be able to
Oh
tell
yeah.
this child. But in the same facet, the only thing that ran through my mind was, in that moment, that man had admitted that he made a grave mistake
Right.
and he was a part of the problem.
Okay.
Mm.
I mean, and other people are hearing that story probably like, oh wow. And I know for you to be able to recant the story and tell it exactly how it happened because you were there, but then for me to sit here and listen to you tell it again, I know I'm a part of the problem.
That's what got me.
I know I'm a part of the problem, and
Mhm.
at this moment now it's too late.
It's too late.
Okay.
It's too late.
Did you know you was a part of the problem before
But
it was
right
too
right
late?
before this happened, did you know that you were a part of the problem?
They was just part of the hype. See, it was part of the hype because usually there's a peanut gallery that hypes it up. "Oh, don't let him talk to you like that. Yeah, he insulted me. Man, yeah, he gonna give me my light. What, you ain't gonna give me my light?" Up back and forth, banter, banter, banter. "That's all right. Let me get out to my car." Well, they got to their car before you got to your car. Oops.
Over a lighter.
And it could very well be over a lighter, over a cookie, over nothing,
Oops.
over traffic, over whatever, over whatever. I'm on
Definitely mental
site,
illness.
on site. So you think about the role of the mother in all of this. Let's go back to the role of the mother. Happy Mother's Day. So we're having a conversation on Mother's Day about how the role of mother can either impact or positively impact or negatively impact the rest of society.
Mm-hmm.
So you think about everything that a mother has on them. Like, if you need a silent moment to think about it, sure, take that moment. But you think about everything that a mother has on her, from the pregnancy to the delivery, through
Before the
all of it.
pregnancy. She had healing that needed to be done
before
that
Before
she
that.
didn't even get done before the pregnancy.
Okay, I'll take that. So let's look at that part. Everything that a mother has on her, and then you bring in more of what the problem may be. So how do we get into that part of the conversation, in your opinion?
This is where the spider web comes in. This is where we reach out to everyone else. This is where we stop being unneighborly. Because if we have one sister that reaches out to another sister, not necessarily blood, but one sister that reaches out to another sister and say, "Hey, I need help. This is what I have going on. I need help. Can you help me?" I might not be able to help you with everything that you have going on, but we are some resourceful women.
Yeah.
Black women are so resourceful.
Yeah.
We hardly ever tap into those resources
Yeah.
because we are afraid of how great we can be. Afraid of it.
Ooh.
So in that, it's time that we just reach out. Like, I'm available. Everybody knows. They walk up to people be calling my name. I don't even be knowing. They be like, "Hey, Nina." I be like, "I don't know who the heck that is." "Hey, girl." "Hey."
As we should be,
I be
right?
like, "Hey," you
It's on
know,
3 degrees.
come
So-
talk to me though.
I got something to say. I was talking to Wood the other day about dealing with a child with ADHD.
Okay.
He had been giving me problems since kindergarten, since he started basically pre-K.
Mm.
Okay. I checked out by the time mentally with him, by the time he was like in the 3rd or the 4th grade. And I would call
What
my
do you mean
friends.
checked out? Like this your child?
This
Checked
is my
out.
child.
For real, checked out.
Mentally, I was just thinking about when he was in the 3rd or 4th grade. I can't wait till this child gets 18 or 19.
Mhm.
We can get up out my house because I can't deal with this. And think about it now that at that time I was like in my 20s.
Mhm.
Now I'm in my 40s.
Mhm.
And the way a 3rd grader look in my eyes now
Completely different.
makes me feel like I did my son a disservice.
Right.
Okay, so let's stop. Let us stop there. So when you think about each individual situation, every individual situation, Amy, you are a gifted, talented person with a different level of perception. And you have children. And even having those children have things that make them different. Each one of your children, they're different, right?
Yep.
And this particular child is different and had some things that you
I couldn't deal with
and that's
Mhm.
as the mother to the
as
child.
the mother of the child.
So like looking back at that and you just saying then I was in my 20s then, how like what you look back at that, what do you feel like when you say that?
When I was in my 20s, I still was a child. Okay. I always tell people I had my first child when I was a teenager, probably like 17, 18 years old.
Mhm.
And it's right there that 17 to 18-year-old child stopped because she had to be an adult. She had to grow up. But
Yeah.
I still was a 17, 18-year-old child mentally, trying to grow up. Matter of fact, I told somebody the other day that she showed back up again here recently
Mhm.
because my children are grown now. So it's like I'm trying to pick up where I left off. But I'm looking at myself now like, okay, I was 20 some years old trying to deal with a child with ADHD.
Yeah.
I had issues. I mean, actually dealing with this child, I learned that I had ADHD, and I
Uh-huh.
actually was like, I see why my mama don't really fool with me.
I
That's
get
why
it.
my mama don't like me, because this child acts like me, reminds me of
Wow.
me when I was younger. And my mom is just now developing a good relationship with me. Just now I can call her, and she's not acting all aggravated when I call
So
her.
so when you were that child then, did you feel that you aggravated your mother?
I thought my mama did not love me, that she hated me and couldn't stand me and just didn't want any children. And I think that that's how my son feel about me now because he swear people hurt him. But and then when I think about it, he was 3rd or the 4th grade when his mom mentally checked out.
Like I need my mama and you can't fool with me because I'm different.
Right.
Right.
Oh man. So like you think about the severity of how those situations play into everybody that we see. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And when you talk about ADHD and just how that plays out, I tell my story all the time. Like not every opportunity I get, but when it's necessary, I do share. And that's something that you learn as a therapist. You
Mhm.
share when necessary.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. So like a lot of times that is very much necessary because that used to be the little black boy diagnosis. ADHD,
Say it again.
ADD. Okay.
Say it again.
So you remember back when we were in elementary school after
Mhm.
lunch, all your little homeboys had to go to the principal's office to take their
With that little
medicine.
Ritalin.
Yes. And you
Mhm.
looking
Everybody
like, well,
was on
why is
Ritalin.
everybody in there?
Everybody was getting that appeal of
Mhm.
Ritalin. Baby.
Yeah, and
Everybody was in it.
it's so many people, and some parents probably opted out. Like, nah, we ain't doing it.
And you know what?
They gonna be bad.
Tell you what happened. Jordan was on something that made him start getting the twitches where his head was
Mm.
twitching like this. If you're watching, this is how his head was twitching. So he asked me, Mama, why is my head twitching like this? So I took him out the medication. When
Mhm.
I took him out the medication, of course, he was worse in school trying to get, he was coming down off the medicine. They were trying to suspend him. They was trying to put him in an alternative school.
Yeah.
So I had to sue Birmingham City School for benefits to keep them from putting him in a alternative school because they didn't care if you don't That's another thing why I say it's a prey on the poor
Yeah.
and they're prey on the people that's uneducated. If you don't know how to fight for yourself, your child will have a negative record. I
Because
had to fight for my child to keep them from making him look like a bad kid when he simply had a mental issue.
and you okay, and I really appreciate you and just the fact that you can be open about this because there's so many parents
Just
and we
raw.
talk about this. There are so
Yes.
many parents who have no clue what to do in a they don't have the space, they don't have the mental capacity to be able to deal with it because they never dealt with their stuff. And now here I am with a child with the same type of stuff I had going on. I don't know what to do. The school is telling me something to do, so all I'm gonna do is go to the meeting and listen to what they say, and that's gonna be that. And that's supposed to be enough. But then those children end up hurt and heartbroken and confused, and they feel like they were the burden, they were the problem, and then now they act out.
Yeah. Because they would have put him, if he would have went to the alternative school, he would have been subjected to being bullied because
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
different. So I
yeah.
had to fight because I knew he wasn't
Like,
that
no,
type
he's
of
not
child.
going to that
So he's not
school.
going there. So when I got through suing him, they had to send him to a better school on
Mm.
another side of town, and they had to come and pick him up.
Mhm.
I sued for benefits. He can go to college anywhere he wants to in this state for free because they was trying. They was like, "Do you want money or do you-" no, 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 no? I want benefits.
So
It's about my
you knew
son's
what the fight
education.
was. You knew what the
Yes.
fight was. You put forth that
Nobody knows.
effort as a
Mhm.
mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as a mother, I put forth this effort and I want my child to be able to thrive. I want them to be
Yes.
able to grow. I want them to know that I love them, to know that the world is going to be a cruel place. But how do you go back and repair those moments from when he felt like, or when you knew that you
Mhm.
had checked out?
Maybe I can tell him I checked out, but I still sued the school.
Like I still fought for you.
Right.
I was still trying. Amy, that's a good start.
I wouldn't let nobody else check out on you. Can't nobody else check out on you.
I fought for
Okay?
you.
Oh my
But these are the struggles of a mama.
But
Like, well, damn.
like, no. Damn it. Excuse me.
Like these are the struggles of motherhood. Like I told you this evening, today being Mother's Day,
Mhm.
I bought a box. And y'all folk in this city love my child.
Yeah, girl, I
They
love
do.
myself.
Jesus.
They do. But I bought a box from Aldi.
Okay.
And the box it was a little Mother's Day box that like made it really easy for your children or whoever to hook it up for Mother's Day. And I gave it to her maybe Monday. I opened it up because I wanted to see what was in it. They put 2 little bottle wraps in there. You could put it on your mom's champagne or her wine or
Mhm.
whatever. They gave you a menu card so your mama could check off what she want for breakfast.
Right.
And they gave you a placemat for like a little tray for
Right.
it
Oh.
Mhm.
and a card. Fill in
Okay.
the blanks on the card.
Okay.
I gave it to her Monday. Today is Mother's Day Sunday. Where the hell is my card and my table
She ain't
tray?
get that. She ain't. Mm-mm.
So, as the mother, it's up to me to set the example.
Mhm.
So now the example that you get is when you ask for those chicken wings that everybody in this city knows you want, mama can't get them.
Nope.
Those shoes that are way too expensive, but because you make good grades and you do most of what you're supposed to do, I can't get them either.
Mhm.
Can we go here and do this and I order this? No.
Mm-mm. The world is not your oyster,
Right.
boo-boo.
No.
Nope.
So you love your children. You do things, you sacrifice, but there comes a time when you know that your children are able to understand what's really going on. And
Mhm.
when you don't hold them accountable in some way to at least recognize who they have that fights for them, you've done them a disservice. I'm
But what
like,
about the children that don't have people to
what
fight for 'em?
what about them? So then
Yeah.
there's another layer of conversation.
What about those children? Because there are many children in this city who have now become adults
Yep.
that did not have anyone to fight for them. So
Mm.
therefore, they are not fighting for their offspring either.
And they never that nobody fought for them.
Nope.
They're not really wanting to fight for themselves.
Nope.
They lost that fight. And now I have children and I ain't got time to fight for them.
either.
So then those children
Mm-hmm.
end up being the people that the village tries to work with and save.
You
And
know,
then-
that's
Go ahead.
the thing. You know, I tell people all the time, you watch all of these shows, but one of those things that I saw from Black Panther was when he said
Oh,
that the child that is turned from the village will burn it down
and he came
just
back.
to feel warmth.
He came back.
So it has to be somewhere. It doesn't necessarily have to come from the home. It could come from the village. The village saves a lot of children. We have to get back to the village. So CSU is the foundation for the village.
Yeah.
We are a collective of women that are from diverse backgrounds that have opened ourselves up to be communicated with in order to provide resources and direction for the rest of the women who are out here on their own with no direction. And I'm telling you, you can't say you ain't had nobody that you can't reach out to because you
Yeah.
have someone that you can reach out to. You can't say that we didn't put it out there. We're not finna be like walking in the middle of the street going, we matter, yeah, matter, you
No.
matter,
Nah, I
I
ain't
matter, woo woo. That ain't
No.
it. We ain't cheerleaders.
Those say
I'm
we
through
are
with the
those
cheer-
girls.
Yeah, we're not
Not them.
cheerleaders. I'm not doing the cheering thing with the microphone and this, that, and the
Nah,
other. Literally,
no,
we'll
no.
get that conversation where we can sit down and say, "Hey, this is what it is, and this is what we're doing."
I got a question about that. I was out when we did the 100 Black Men Deep Walk,
Yeah.
and we would get together and we would tell the people in the community,
Mhm.
we're coming. We're going to barbecue for you all. We're going to have entertainment at the park. We walk through, they'll communicate with us on their porch, but they would not come out to get the rest of the
Oh,
resources.
so remember we
from
got to that
us.
part of the conversation in our meeting
Mhm.
and trying to figure out what that's about. So when churches buy toys and when schools send home food boxes and
Right.
when community centers have free
Events and
haircuts or
stuff, yeah.
something,
Mhm.
do I see that as an insult? I want you to like think outside of you
Yeah,
and your,
yeah.
you think outside of yourself. Do I see that as an insult? I don't eat no damn red apples and potatoes on Thursday, and I don't want you giving it to me in no box on Saturday.
Because that's what's in the
Right.
box, honey.
Right? And that's kind of insult.
I mean,
and I
that's
don't
cool
want
for my
that.
grandma, but
Some squash.
I mean, in all actuality,
I don't
yeah.
want it, right? Okay, so that's one thing. These toys, they are not the toys you got your children. It's not a game system.
Nope.
It's not a scooter or
Nope.
four-wheeler or whatever. Like it's not the stuff that you get for your own children. Most of
Right.
the time, it's a toy. It's something
Mhm.
that I'm about to throw away
And
because I don't want
sometimes
this.
it's cheap.
It's something
Most
just to say
times.
we did something for
Most
them, just to
times,
say
right?
we did something.
So
Mhm.
like if you put yourself in other people's shoes and you say, yeah, we're helping, we helped 100 children and we gave them this or we did this. Parents, some of the parents see that as a blessing and as helpful.
Mhm.
I was able to have my child something.
Mhm.
They see it as a blessing, and the children don't know any different, so they are
Mm.
appreciative. But then there are those who I can still see that y'all over here doing very well. And I also see where we live, and I see what we have, and I see what your children got. And I'm not really this don't make me happy. What
But
y'all
why won't
think?
they go work for it? Why won't they? It's so many opportunities. And it's like really no reason for
Why won't they
anyone
go
to
work
not
for it?
have anything right
Amy, it's
now.
a cycle. Why work for it when I can get
Get it
it, but
for
I just
free.
don't want this?
Right.
Somebody, if you listening and this is you,
Yeah,
let
why
us
don't y'all say
know.
nothing? Because we know y'all are out there. You're there. We want to know why aren't they speaking?
Well, they wouldn't be listening to a
Oh,
vital.
that's true.
Okay.
Okay,
So
that's another
it's so many levels and layers to this conversation that a lot of people that need to get it won't get. When they say you preaching to the choir, it's kind of one of those type
Yeah.
situations. So therefore that's the part of our conversation that will be in the second hour when we are having these awesome deep conversations about our own experiences and about being mothers in today's society. Who the hell listening? Who we talking to?
Right.
Right.
And where's the help? Do we
Right.
help ourselves or do we expect the village to help us? Like, what is that? So I guess we can spend about 5 more minutes on this just to kind of see if we can come up with something before we go to the next hour.
I got something to lead to the next hour.
Yeah.
Poor people, women on welfare, uneducated, undereducated.
Uh-huh.
Keep you and your children out this system because they're preying on the poor and they're preying on the under and uneducated.
Mm.
You not knowing the law is not a defense, okay? They
I
will
didn't know.
run you down if you do not know. If you don't know, I'm a victim of that, not knowing. And at the time being poor and couldn't defend myself.
Mhm.
If
And
you
it-
can't defend yourself, if you cannot afford to defend yourself, don't play on those folks' playground.
True. And as somebody that's a friend of you that was very much connected to the situation, the mentality of those of us, poor, maybe, it's a thought process as well.
Yeah.
Because we were also thinking like nobody's gonna take that on. Nobody's gonna want to deal with that.
And
Nobody's
they
gonna
didn't.
understand it. And a lot of times what we don't have and what we don't know is because we fear, because of the
fear.
thought that type of thinking. We don't have and we can't afford, so we don't ask or we don't
Mm-mm.
study or we don't go for.
That was exactly the
Or the
situation
people
with
that's
me.
in your ear.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you will share that with somebody and they'll say, no, you really, really shouldn't do that. No,
Yeah.
no, no, don't do that.
Because you
Because
got people
literally,
want you to stay afraid.
honey, my mama was telling me,
Mhm.
you know, I was up for a fight for being treated unjustly.
Hmm.
And I knew it
You were
was
down
wrong.
for the fight.
And I was
Mhm.
down for the fight. And the fight lasted for 4 years. But baby, they had to come and see me.
Mhm.
And I told them, I was like, I don't care what y'all do. You can go by and you can do whatever. But in the end,
Yep.
you will have to come see me. And the attorneys looked me in my face and told me, you just a girl from Ansley. So from there, they thought I was just some little uneducated or undereducated poor person from
Why
Ansley.
do they always think that
Not
about us girls
knowing,
from
It's,
Inslee?
right.
but they out with Section
Literally.
8 because
I'm
it got to
sitting in
me
there.
that they were saying, well, she's on Section 8.
Right.
So basically, because I was on Section 8, you thought you could railroad me?
No.
Okay. We go back to court
Like, I'm
soon.
on Section 8
Come
for
see
other
me.
reasons. Like,
Well,
don't
Right.
play.
and I'm not
Come
now.
see me.
Not on it anymore.
So that part of the conversation, like people will think because of where you're from,
Mm-hmm.
well, because of your color, first of
Right.
all, that's the first thing. Then because of your gender, or
Right.
your sex,
Mhm.
and then because of where you're from,
Right.
they will make all the assumptions in the world. And I just posted something the other day. When I get tired of life or when it starts looking like blah, I'm tired of this. I'm going back to school, get another degree and
Right.
another
You
degree,
should.
do another program, get another constant. You know, like we better ourselves over here. And I don't understand why that's so difficult for people to see or for them to believe until
Well,
it's a problem,
yeah.
until we got to come out with it. Like, okay, well, let's go ahead and
Right.
let's go
I
ahead and
quit
Mhm.
letting other people write my stories because I did a story, uh, and the writer did not look like you or I. But when she did the story for the two women who didn't look like me, she
Mhm.
listed all of their accolades. She listed this, she listed that, but she tried to paint me like some
She
poor,
minimized your story.
struggling, oh, woe is me, but look at her. She came from there. And I was like, you can't paint me like that because I came from a strong two-parent household. My
First
mom and
of
dad have been
all,
together for forever and a day, and they still married. I said, and I have multiple degrees and multiple businesses. So please don't try to paint me as the single mom that's got the child and I'm
struggling.
struggling and this, that, and the other. My grind has always been tight. But for the woman that was standing to my right who doesn't have any children, they listed all of her degrees. They listed her pedigree, her brother this and her father that, and this, that, and the other.
Oh.
Oh, hers. And because I have friends that are writers, they called me as soon as it posted online. And they was like, have you read it? It was like 10:45 at night. I think her name was Hannah or Lindsay or something like that. But
One of those
whatever.
names, yeah.
Whatever her name was.
Yeah.
And I sent her a text message that night and she ignored me because, you know, it shows when a person reads, like, good, quit. I got an iPhone too,
Mhm.
playing. And so I had to call the editor and was like, if you don't pull it, I promise you, I will unleash the Kraken. And he was like, I think I need to fix it because it's midnight and it's already had 700 views.
Fix it.
So she ain't never got that
Fix
many
it.
clicks on anything. She
Right.
called the next day trying to apologize. But honey, girl, let me tell you something. I will not let anybody tell our story in a dysfunctional way. Struggle is one thing.
Yeah.
One can struggle, but you will show the empowerment and the other side of it.
So talking about resilience, that's what that is. Our resilience, and then just the fact that if I'm from 35208, 35218,
baby.
35211,
Or 35206.
35206, right? Any of those areas, that does not mean that I can't be great. That does not mean that my Mother's Day
Great.
story has to be a ridiculous story. So there are some awesome women, some great mothers, and great products of those mothers coming out of these areas. We're going to talk more about that part of it in the next hour and some other things. Amy has her notes. We took mental notes. I'm just waiting to see what she wrote down. And we're going to go there because this is one of those conversations where we do want you guys to be involved. So in the second hour, I will turn the phone lines on and you can call in.
Call in.
And of course, post your comments right now on the stream. We are live at my personal page, Woo Woodruff. We're on Lady Woo. We're on Vital Show on YouTube, Vital Show on Facebook, and V949 on Facebook. And the ladies in the studio are streaming as well. So go ahead and get in. Wendy, hey there. Wendy says, this is real talk. Thank you, ladies.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Well, if you think hour one was in, wait till we get to hour two because we are taking off the layers. This is not going to be one of those sugarcoat fluff, whatever, honey. Yeah, y'all finna get all this work.
This is real.
And it's about to happen in like 2 minutes right here on B94.9 WATV.
This was good. That was real good.
So,
All right, everybody. So we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Hold tight. Hold tight.
where my water go?
All right, huh?
So I done had 2 police captains, Danny and Petway all hit me.
For real, just now, for
Yes,
business.
ma'am.
Tell him I go to court too.
Like I be at court too. And the beauty of it is, I'm off work.
I gotta be there. He want me there at 8:30 in the morning. I need somebody there to see because Jermaine ain't strong enough, and it's okay. That's just not his. If they lock me up, Jermaine, he probably won't say nothing again till I've been in there 2 weeks.
Hello. Uh, mm, mm, mm.
That's right. That's right. That's right. It's V94.9 WATV, where the V stands for Vital. Hour number 2 is underway. Oh, I got my volume up. All right. So we are here. We are going. I got my girls with me. And we are having a conversation on Mother's Day about the role of the mother in the community, in the village, what it looks like, all the struggles, all the tribulations, all the trials. That's what we're talking about. Amy and Nina, how y'all doing?
We're
Great.
doing good.
Great, great, great. Awesome.
All right. First hour. Huh?
My mic on.
No, it was hers.
Oh,
We're good.
You good?
Yeah.
All right. So Mental May is underway. Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day again to all of you who celebrated today. We didn't do this part of it. So before we get back into our I mean, it's a layered conversation.
Right.
And I'm gonna tie it in with those who have lost their mothers.
Okay.
You know, their mothers physically not physically here on earth with them anymore. Different situations, different circumstances being the reasons why their moms are not physically here.
Mhm.
But the pain that must cause people, the disconnect that you must feel when your mother is no longer present, the anger that you might feel when your mother's no longer present, uh the bitterness. I mean, I can only imagine what that may feel like to not have your vessel, the vessel that brought you into the world, still present with you, and how painful that may be or how confusing that may be. So when you think about like how a mother's role in your life is pivotal, like that's how you get here. And I think about those people who don't even know their biological mothers, or who aren't with their biological mothers. Like what type of anger that must be.
It's a hole.
Like that is
It's
Yeah.
a
just
void.
yeah,
you
right?
don't-
It's a void.
yeah.
So you think about that and you think about all of the issues that we see where, hey, my mom went around or my mama's gone anyway. Like I don't have that figure to answer to anymore. I don't have that person that I know I want to make proud. Like at this point, it just is what it is. So I'm thinking about it that way, from the aspect of those who are the ones that are committing the crimes and traumatizing other people.
Mhm.
I'm traumatized. My heart is broken. I'm empty. I'm voided, and I don't care.
Hmm.
So when with us having this conversation, three mothers, three black girls from the hood, that make daily choices to keep us stable and climbing. All right. So we make these choices on purpose. We make these daily choices on purpose to be better than where to not be victims of our environment. Okay. We make these choices on purpose. But there's somebody who doesn't care anything about that because of their stuff. All the stuff I've experienced causing me not to give a damn about Nina and her story, Amy and her story, or Wu and her story. I don't care.
Right. Yeah, ain't got nothing to do with me.
Because they probably feel like nobody was there for me.
Right.
We just talked about it. Nobody fought for me.
Mhm.
So that I wanted to do that part just before we went any further with the conversation, just honoring those mothers who have gone on, but then also tying it into the conversation tonight. The purpose of our show tonight is what, Nina? What brought us together? Like you got to keep telling them like what are we doing here?
Concerned.
We were concerned.
Concerned. Concerned. We are very concerned about our communities. Concerned sisters. We are all sisters,
Oh.
united. This is where we stand together and we lock arms and we say, okay, it's time to fix the foundation. It's time out for the band aid. The let me just put my arms around you and tell you that it's okay. It's just a band aid. A band aid over a gaping wound is not going to fix it. Honey, we need some stitches and some super glue and some gauze, and we need some surgery done to this, because what we have going on is not something we can throw a band aid on.
Right.
And we need black people to stop upholding other black people
Ooh.
for their bull.
Now, that was our
just
foundation.
because they're black.
That was the foundation right there.
The foundation to what?
The foundation of how we start the road to fixing it, the upholding the wrongdoings of our own. The upholding it. Cause see, y'all, I'm gonna tell you, I'm finna be honest with y'all. Y'all call 911 and be like, oh, we want the police to come do it. You call 911, your child out of hand. He jumping you. Right? I need the police to come here. Police get there and they grab him up because he grabbing you up. Don't put your hands on my baby.
Like, I'm
Wait a
confused,
minute,
ma'am.
But
baby.
he wrong.
Hello. Or why y'all here so late? Well, baby, they not clairvoyant. They not Cleo for those that came up telling me your future. They not that person. Like they literally have to wait for a call to come in. And sometimes y'all don't call. You'll see the mess going on. You'll see the mess.
Right.
And you ain't said nothing. In fact, the peanut gallery of a lot of people here, and you see it on social media. You know what I'm
So they
saying? You
going
egg
live.
it on.
The
You
fight.
egg it on. You want to see it. Ooh, that's good. That's good viewership. Ooh, I got all these numbers. Everybody looking. Did you see I'm going viral.
Why
I
these
know
grown
you
women
want to
keep
be
fighting?
seen.
Why they keep fighting on the videos? Grown folks,
Right, grown
women our
because they want to be
age.
seen.
Women our age getting knotted up.
They want to be seen.
I'm not understanding.
Like, what are you doing?
Why you
They wanna
fighting?
be
And
seen.
these
You
are
ain't
the,
got
these are the
arthritis? You ain't
mothers.
hurt?
I ain't lying. Like I will, but I don't want to.
They wanna be
No.
seen.
Yeah, my knee gonna hurt.
Right. Why we so
Oh
mad?
boy. What are
Mm.
we angry about? So we're angry about so many things. Amy, you named a lot of them from the beginning. I'm poor.
Yep.
Mm.
I'm
Uneducated.
unaware.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Like
I'm broken.
Very
these folks
broken.
told me I couldn't have nothing if I ain't have a high school diploma or if I didn't get a GED or
And I
if
dropped
didn't
out
get
because I got these children.
right.
And
Right.
I'm tired of them,
Right.
honestly. Like I'm sick of them.
Mhm.
And I hate their daddies.
Mhm.
And then they make it hard for me to work, so I can't really keep a good job.
Right.
So
Mhm.
when you asked earlier about, well, why won't they get a job? I can't. Like I don't. No, I don't. I can't. And so you think about the mental burden that brings about. Like I have all of these things that some of them are things that I caused myself. Yeah. Some of them are things that my great grandma and them caused because they ain't do nothing. They didn't show me anything different. They didn't fix anything. So then I learned that.
Right.
Some of them are things that society put in front of me that look more appealing than what Nina did or what Wu did or what Amy did. Like who
Right.
this is easier, and I'm not willing to make those sacrifices.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was a parent one time. Her child had got in trouble, I think, for cussing out a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's coming.
His birthday came up. He was wrong. He got suspended and everything. He was wrong
Okay.
for the situation. Well, his birthday was during the time that he was suspended.
Hmm.
And his mother still was like, yeah, he cussed her out, but I'm still going to reward him. I'm still going to buy
Of
him
course.
these expensive shoes, this gaming system,
Of course.
because it's his birthday.
You heard what I just said.
Of course.
It's about teaching a lesson. I don't care what's coming up. We're gonna celebrate your life. We're gonna do that,
But you wouldn't have gotten
but it's gonna be
Mhm.
cake and ice cream
Right.
because we
Okay.
celebrate your life.
Right.
You're still on punishment.
Mm-mm. No. Because what happens is we have too many women, and I dare say fathers, because few and far in between, you are there. But for those that are there, I applaud you. But for those that are not there, you are a part of the foundational problem. Period.
Mm.
So let's just be real honest about it. But what happens is the women are rewarding because they have their own issues. So this child has seen 5 men run through the house. Everybody is uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Has seen her gone, you know what I'm saying? Like literally, I'm running calls where children are getting burned up in houses because the mama went to the club and left the babies in the house by themselves and warming the house with an oven. I mean, I'm just saying. So, and when
Just
she
hoping and
sees
praying
them,
that nothing happens.
when she see them, why did you leave them? The responsibility is on a younger child, on a 8, 9, 10-year-old
I
child.
heard that.
And it's kind of hard on them. So now this child has this weighted burden just as much as this mother has this weighted burden because they're seeking love. Everybody's seeking love. Everybody's
Everybody
seeking it.
is right, and some in different forms of love. Like, so let's look at that part as mothers with children,
Mm-hmm.
and let's just go here. You talk about the people that are involved in the household, the people that your children meet and are introduced to, and the things that they may see.
Right.
How difficult is it to be a mother dating or trying to trying to still care for yourself in that way and have children? How difficult is that? I say for me, it has been because you don't know how your children feel about it until they're your age, until they
Yeah.
grown. Honestly,
Baby.
like you don't know what they see it as when it's happening. Unless you just really
I
try
do.
your best. You do?
Mhm.
Oh, I know exactly what it looks
So
like.
you share yours first. Share yours first.
So my son was in middle school, and I am what you call a teen mom. So
Okay.
through T-ball and coach pitch and everything else, football, all the students would come over to my house and I prepare meals. Cooking is my ministry.
Mhm.
So I love to cook. But I teach all the children to properly set a table. And I'm talking about like salad fork,
Oh, so you
fork,
doing all that.
spoon,
I
right.
need you to show me.
So they have
Oh
to
yeah,
sit
plastic
down and do
fork.
this, right? And then when I finish cooking, they do the dishes and put everything up. They like
Okay.
little worker ants.
Okay.
Well, I'm in my den drinking wine because I was
I'm
getting it in. I'm
grown.
grown, right? I done fed all y'all crumb snatchers, right? And I hear one of my son's friends say, "Steve, your mama gay." Right? And my son was
Why you
like,
say
he
that?
was like, "Nah, my mom ain't gay. What is you talking about?" He was kind of offended. And so I was like, seeing if how children
How is
work
this
it
gonna
out
play
about
out?
boys, right? And so the other boys got in too. Yeah, man, we come by here all the time. It don't never be nobody here. You know what I'm saying? Every now and again, we might see another lady come over here. But she said she went to high school with her, and then one of the kids was like, "Well, yeah, that's my mama. They did go to high school together. That's why I'm over here."
How old were they?
Like, I want to say 12, 11. And they're
Okay.
having this conversation about me and me
Like,
being
hey,
straight.
y'all shut up and now. Okay.
Right?
We want to hear.
No.
it.
I
Yeah,
ain't
we
telling
need
them to
hear
shut
it.
up.
We
I'm
need to
sipping
hear
my
it.
wanna
wine.
listen.
I'm
She wanna
gulping, right?
listen.
I'm gulping.
I
And then
got you.
so my son says something that I had to stop the whole thing because I knew he had gone too far because he's savage like me. And they had cut and prodded and cut and prodded till he told him he called him the N-word. First of all, he was like, "N-word, just because your mama got a different dude laid up in her house in her bed every third day and they all your daddy because she don't know who your daddy is, don't mean my mama gay." Literally. And I heard the furniture move. So I had to get up and run in there and sit down and have a conversation with these boys about it. Cause first I had to tighten up my child and say, "Whoa." Well, first of all, never get mad at anybody about somebody saying that you're gay.
Yeah.
Let's clear that right on up. We're gonna nip that in the bud. I said every little boy in here could call me gay, and it really wouldn't matter because you know
Yeah.
your mama. That
Yeah.
don't have nothing to do with them. They still ate at my gay table and ate my gay food. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? I said,
Wash
"This your
your
gay
gay
house."
dishes.
Right. So you got with that. And so they kind of all laughed about it. But I said, "But this is," and I tightened my child up first. I said, "This is where you were wrong. This child has to go home to this. And if you see it, he's living it.
Okay.
So
Good
don't
lesson.
you ain't gotta cut that boy like
Good
that."
lesson.
Mhm. There was.
He ain't had to cut him like that.
He had to cut him like that. That's the type of cutting that they do as adults that get people killed. This is just children conversation. So imagine if somebody cut like that and you 19
Yeah.
and are you angry?
And you got a gun.
You angry because these dudes coming through the house calling you to look in. You know what I'm saying?
You
go in the
just
other
went
room.
through- right. Okay. So this is how it plays out, right? So every aspect of single motherhood or motherhood, period. Like no matter what
Yes.
the transitions are, you can be in a successful, happy relationship with a great
Yes.
man. You can be in a relationship. I mean, whatever it is, but it's all about how your children perceive it.
Yeah.
Okay. So flip side, the ones with the multiple people. The boy said that he said what? They in and out what?
He said, "You got a different dude in and out your mama house every third day, and they all calling you uncle. So, and you don't know which one your daddy." And I was like,
Damn.
"Well,
Okay.
right."
So I do want to
So-
open the phone lines up for that 9948949 because it's a difficult thing. Like I had to really come to grips with the idea of like having a daughter and dating.
Oh, I got pointers.
I
honey.
could
You know what I mean?
not date.
I
You
did.
could?
I would not.
Oh,
Now,
honey.
when I
I
my boys
did.
were little, I dated, but my children went to bed at 8:00.
Okay.
So I didn't date till like 9:30.
Right.
Okay.
I dated at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
I ain't gonna
Yeah.
even lie.
Dating.
Yeah, I was
Right.
so my
I shopped at Walmart
Girl.
on Lakeshore. That was 24 hours.
Okay.
And I kept Walmart bags in my car. The disposable, the ones that you can
I was
use.
gone to the
Right.
store.
I was gone, and I would come back
My
with some
children was trying
groceries.
to hook me
Okay.
up with my clients because they thought I wasn't dating because
Right.
they never saw it.
Mm.
So with Ella, and let's just say if something happened between me and my husband, I would
You
not
wouldn't date
date
again?
No, not until she's older. I couldn't.
Yeah, I didn't start again till Steve was out of the house.
Yeah,
I was like,
wouldn't.
he got to go because
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. He
Yeah.
once they hit a certain age, they trying to smash too at like
Exact-
14,
Yeah.
15. So you know,
Okay.
you
And
trying to smash, I'm trying to smash.
Right.
No, that ain't gonna work, boo. That
And
ain't gonna
Jayella,
work.
she's a gymnast, so she's shapely already.
No, no,
So
no,
I don't
no,
even
no,
know.
no.
Okay, so it's so many different elements to this thing. Like as a mother, what
Yeah.
you're like, what you have to be cognizant of. I have to. My child looks a certain way.
Yes.
You know people, but you don't know people to know if you don't know that much. Then like you seen situations where mothers and daughters get into it about guys because the look that you're,
They
Yes.
both doing them.
it just
I'm tapping mama and
Look,
daughter.
when I was a teenager dating somebody,
Mhm.
the mother got into it with her boyfriend because she said that the boyfriend was looking at me. They got into it in front of me.
like what's happening?
Right.
Right.
Wow. So if you're listening and you can relate, happy Mother's Day once again. I just want to say that. These are real mama conversations. And what it all balloons into is what we deal with as a society because it's hard
Yes.
work being a mom and it's even harder work being a mother with no support system or a sorry support system that ain't really a support system, but they
Right.
connected. So they kind of show up sometimes, but not really that type of thing. So if
Mm.
that's what we're talking about, and we're looking at how it affects everybody, like how one household can affect the whole city. Like
Mm.
one shooting can impact 10 people.
Can.
One rape case can impact the whole
Oh.
way that the little girls in the neighborhood live from that point forward. Like nobody can walk here anymore. Nobody can do this anymore. You can't go over Mr. So and so house no more. Things change because of other people's behaviors. And if the village doesn't have the conversation and step in, we are gonna be quarantined forever because you're gonna be
Right.
scared of everybody around you. And then other than that, you're gonna be scared that you may be grazed or shot by something that has nothing to do with you. Some bullet that didn't even you don't even know what's going on.
Stray.
And then the mama's at home or at work or whatever trying to some mothers are
Trying to
really
make it happen.
and so we're talking about so many different angles of motherhood and how it can happen. You could be being the phenomenal mother that you are, and your family, your children can be impacted by some things that you never would have expected.
But let's talk about that too. You know how some people say, as a parent, the parent can do everything right and still something go wrong with the child.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I find that hard to believe if you are something. Even when I worked in the detention center,
Uh-huh.
it's mechanisms there.
Where's
When
the
you get to
disconnect?
talk and to people, it's like,
Uh-huh.
okay, it one little boy told me his parents were great.
Mhm.
Okay, his dad was a major league baseball player or whatever. They had money, but they were never at home. He
Never
was
there.
comfortable. He had everything he wanted, didn't want for anything.
But I want my parents.
Yeah,
He
they
wasn't
were
present. They
never
didn't
at
have
home.
present people.
And the parents feel like, well, I've done everything for him that I could, but what they were really doing was basically just buying him,
Yeah.
just making him comfortable,
Mhm.
just basically pacifying the child, but they weren't really
Mm.
parenting for real.
What does parenting look like? Like, what does parenting for real look like? A lot of people think that parenting is I feed my child,
Nope.
I make sure
No.
they're clothed,
Nope.
and I get them to school.
Nope.
I need to know your friends. My
Nope.
child, when Jeremy and them got off the bus,
Uh-huh.
you got 6 minutes from that bus stop to my house.
Okay.
If you don't call me by a certain time, I'm getting off work and I'm coming, and it's gonna be a problem
Because you can't call me.
because you ain't called me. I took my kids to the corner stores and told the people that work in there, if you see any one of them in there without me, here go my phone
phone
number.
number.
You need to call me.
What year was this? 42?
Village.
No,
No.
no, this was just.
Did you say 42?
I was
Are you
born
saying
in 78.
really?
No,
42 or
and
78.
No, I
really,
really was.
I
at
could just see your children now playing. You doing too much. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they playing it. That's
Like,
the
dang,
ringtone
Mom,
for you. You
like-
doing too much.
What you
Yeah,
doing?
I
You
had
doing
three
too
sons.
much.
I didn't want my children to be statistics.
Okay.
So I remember when the school called me and told me Jeremy was in a gang. I said, no, he ain't in no gang. It was like, yes, he is. Miss. I said, no. After school, they have to do gang activities. Mine is at home every day by a certain time, and he calls me. He's not in a
So
gang.
he faking in a game.
He might be.
in a
Yeah, he
game.
ain't in a real gang.
Okay.
Because
He
he can't.
fake- he fake
right, 'cause
gang
he got,
banging.
yeah, he got after school activities. He's in theater. He's not in a gang.
It's not gonna happen.
So
Mm-mm.
look, like what is parenting? So when I think about what parenting is, for the most part, anywhere that my child can go where children are allowed, and I'm either hosting or watching or whatever it is that I'm doing, my child is going.
Right.
Why? Because I want my child to be exposed to things. I don't want to miss moments of, well, I don't want my child to ever be in a position to say, well, I didn't really know my mama. Oh, you know
Right.
your mama.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
definitely
You know, inside and out. You know your mama. You know that the carpet was rolled out for you to be able to be who you wanted to be on that
Right.
carpet. And if it's what I do, or if it's anything near what I do, you got it all the way made. But if not, your mom gave you an opportunity to find yourself, but to be comfortable enough to try to figure it out, you know? Parenting looks like that. Parenting looks like your child being able to talk to you. One
About
thing
anything.
I hate to hear parents say, and for all of you who are listening that say this, I ain't your friend. I'm your mama, not your friend.
Mm.
Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. Really, I'm your dad and not your friend. I really want y'all to think about that,
Right.
because if you you think about what a friend is. A friend is the person that you can call when you have nobody else to talk to. A friend is the person that's gonna try to understand you and be down for you when your folk ain't gonna be down for you.
Right.
Right.
You go out with your friends, you have fun with your friends, you cry with your friends. I'm your friend. I'm your first friend.
Maybe people are picking wrong friends and wrong people
they
and
don't
wrong
know what that
relationships
is.
because of their parent wasn't a friend. So they don't even know. Like when Jayella say, "This my friend," oh, I just met a friend. No, you ain't. You ain't got no friends
who
right
is
now. I'm your only
that?
friend. You ate.
Yeah.
And it's an understanding of what that friendship is. When I
Mhm.
say I'm not your friend, that means don't play with me. Like you're not gonna
Right.
be out of line. But if you're parenting, your child knows what that means.
Right.
Right.
They should know because you're parenting first.
But we
Mhm.
have people who weren't parented themselves, so therefore they don't know what it looks like.
So I can't be your friend.
So yeah,
I'm gonna beat you, feed you,
I'm gonna beat
clothe
you, feed you, clothe you, and then I'm gonna give you reward because I feel bad for all of the effed up stuff that I've been doing anyway.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, it's foundational. I'll tell you. So the things that they don't have are things that we did have. Remember, we used to go to Green Springs. Our parents would drop us off at the
Man,
skating rink. We could be in the middle of the
What?
floor. We be in there trying
Yeah.
to slow hunch while everybody doing what they doing
Yeah.
around. But
Yeah.
oh, so it was just me because I was skinny and not cute. And then
Mhm.
I had went, okay, so it was just me. Okay,
No,
whatever.
it
I
wasn't
was
just
going
you, girl.
because
We
I
went.
just wanted to go. And then
I was skating on.
my dad will show
Yeah, I
up,
was
and
skating.
it wasn't
I
just
was
me.
skating.
He was just with
Skating and
everybody
fighting. I was skating
whatever.
and fighting.
So he called everybody. You know what I'm saying? All your friends, like your
Yeah.
whole government name. You know what I'm saying? Nina Taylor. Da, 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 da. And they looking at me telling me, dang, your dad always embarrassing us when we out here. But when we got in the car, we had somebody that was present.
Yeah.
Somebody that was accountable.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you why I know these children don't have
And you
that.
a firefighter today.
My son had I threw my baby a graduation party.
Mhm.
All right, when he graduated from high school, and he was like, "Ma, I ain't gonna tell nobody about this party." You know, he was like I don't really have no whole bunch of friends, but he was like in a little high school fraternity or this thing or whatever, and it was a bunch of them, you know. So of course, when I told him, he put it in the group chat, and they was like, "Well, who could come?" And I was like, "You know what? It's a free for all, because where I live, I have
It's
a
open.
business that's right next to it, so everybody could park, right?" So the children were coming. I only had one rule. When you came, you had to come to the front door and come see me. I had to look at you. I had to have my eyeballs on you.
Yeah.
Look at you. Where you from? Who? Why you look familiar? You who, son? Yeah. Pick up your phone right now. I need you to call to the house. I need to talk to an adult. So I called. I talked to an adult. Hey, what's your name? Wrote it down. This your child? Yeah, they at my house. We ain't gonna have no funny business. This is that and the other. Blah 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 blah. It was like, all right, cool. It's a complete basement party, DJ and everything. I had 4 men in rotation along with me where we would go downstairs, make sure when nobody
Check.
doing no
Uh-huh.
inappropriate stuff or whatever. But they were shooting pool. I'm telling you, these kids like had dollar bills on my pool table, talking about some dollar next hand. You know what I'm saying? They were shooting pool. And I got into an instance where a young lady showed up and she was pretty much half naked. And so when she walked past a couple of the boys, she was like, if somebody touched me, I know off the rip, I'm screaming rape. And they heard her.
What?
They heard her. And when they heard her, instead of them, you know, checking her and this, that, and the other, they came directly upstairs and they got me and they was like, hey, it's a chick here. She got to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, who is it? We ain't trying to shut the party down. Now, I want you to understand, if I ain't have 150 children at my house, I had 200. I eat 4 hats. It was just that many children. As a matter of fact, one of my coworkers had a son who was in the 10th grade, wasn't even a senior. And I
There's
looked
too
up
many
and saw
children
him
in 'em.
there.
There's
And
too
when I
many.
saw him look, I had to park their cars.
Oh goodness.
So when he got there, I said, "What are you doing here, Jay?" He said, "I told my dad it was a party over here, and so he dropped me off and said it was jumping."
But y'all remember it used to be that way.
Right.
Like we would walk up from miles away to go
Right.
to
To a
somebody's
would.
party, and we, they may fight. It was
Right.
you kind of
That was
know
it,
that
yeah.
may happen,
I know,
but we didn't
honey.
expect somebody. They may
To get
get the
cute.
shoe.
Okay, but this is the deal. I just did that 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and there were no problems. When people tell me, "Oh, you can't control these children,"
Yes,
this,
you
that, and the
can.
other, I had children from Centerpoint. I had children from Ansley. I had children from West End. I had children from all high schools. They were from Minor. They were from J.O. They were from Winona. They were from Huffman.
It's
they
about
were
setting
from,
a standard. I'm
Right.
not gonna tolerate your stuff.
Now, mind you, they did try to go smoke their little weed
I
out on
mean,
the
you
street. I
know.
smelt that. I was like,
Okay.
y'all, all right then, whatever. But don't be throwing your blunt papers in my yard. You
So
know what
like
I'm saying?
there
Like,
are
for
some
real.
there are some things that we just have to be real about, and I
Yeah.
think that's another issue.
Mhm.
Like I can't be your friend. You
Right.
can't smoke. You can't.
No.
Like let's be real about what's
Not
going
here.
on. Let's be real about what's going on.
But y'all can party.
Yeah.
Y'all want to party?
Please, I want you to have a good
What?
time. Life is to be lived, and it should start early. You know, like I say, I'm growing with my daughter, so she's 13 now, and her friends they get it. You know, like other people's children get who you are before your child. They're like, man, your mama's so cool, and like they know you be cool, but it's like that's my mama.
Mhm.
What I need you to understand though is that I could be so much like life could be different for you, and I
Right.
think that's what we have to explain to people. Like life could be different for you.
Mhm.
And that's why other children will gravitate toward parents who are nurturing and loving.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have this. And I want to go with your mama.
Right.
And I'm the mama that be like, come on.
Oh,
Mhm.
girl, you good. I'd be like, oh, no more cross stitches. I'm itching.
I was that
Ew.
person
Come
at
on.
the detention center.
Come
I was
on.
that
That
person.
ain't none of me. Don't send your crumb snatchers to me, baby. That ain't me. My church tell me, my mama will whoop you. and
I
she
will.
will.
But they want
I
that. I
will.
think that some of the children are yearning for that.
Absolutely.
When I worked in the detention center, I
Okay,
had
Larry,
kids
life for little
didn't want to go.
Beach
Shut
Kids.
up. They didn't want to go to see the therapist because the therapist was textbook. You know, they wanted me to talk to them. And I had one kid tell me, Miss Amy, you need to be a therapist. And I'm like, no, bro, I really don't want to do that. You know, I'm good, you know, but just they yearn for it. If their parent is always working and is never there for them, and then you come to me who nurturing you and I'm asking you what you really want to do, what you want to be, and I'm genuinely wanting to know, they yearn for that and they
Yeah.
respected me, you know, because I treated them like they were my kids. I genuinely cared
But
for
see,
them.
you say that, and I say the other side of it. Like I became a therapist for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there is a certain level of everything that you have to have in order to be able to balance it out. Some people do better just being themselves, but that's what I do my best at, being
Mhm.
myself. And I'm gonna be ethically intact so that I can keep my license in practice
Mm.
and pay my student loans back.
Mm.
But I am gonna keep it
See,
100.
I wouldn't even be ethical. That's why I can't even
Yes,
much
you
be a
would.
therapist.
Honey,
Yes, you would.
please.
Because when you think about ethics, you just think about I'm not gonna have sex with my clients.
Oh no,
I'm not
no,
gonna
we ain't
lie.
fraternizing.
Right, I'm not gonna lie on paperwork. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna work when I'm unable mentally to work.
Right,
You know,
right.
so like these are the ethics. It's a whole
That's
lot
true.
of
Okay.
them, but
Well,
it's
I can
stuff
go
that
by them.
yeah, it's decent. It's stuff that you're gonna be like, that makes sense. Okay, I wouldn't do that
Mhm.
anyway. So that's kind of what it is. But I felt that there are so many people who are unheard and so many people who have so much stuff, and I would find myself being those are my friends. Like those
Mhm.
are like I love them.
Mm-hmm.
And I love them because I see pieces of me that I was able to figure out or that my parents helped me figure out. I want to help you.
Right.
Let me help you figure it out. And I want to do it at the expense of the system or somebody else.
Mm.
You know, so I want this. Like, look, they'll pay for it. Come on, talk to me. I, I'm here for it. So
Yeah.
that, like when you put yourself out there like that, you're doing your job. You get a check for your job, but this is a passion, it's a calling. Don't you worry about how much it costs if you need somebody to talk to. I'm available.
Right.
If your house burning, I'm coming on this engine because this is my job, but I
Right.
care. I do my shows, I do my plays, I
Mhm.
do this because I care. And it's gonna be at the expense of that same system, Amy, that you just said be out here praying on us. Nah, I'm not gonna let them do that. I'm gonna let them pay for your therapy though.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll let them pray. We will do that.
We-
Ain't gonna let them pray on you.
we gonna try to protect you. So I wanted to get in the gap. I wanted to stand in the gap. Like,
Mhm.
okay, so you may not know the law, you may not know this, you may not know that, you may not even understand why you do that thing that you do. I want to help you figure it out and then give you something else to do.
Mhm.
Give
Because
you a
we
new way to
will
feel.
provide. This is one thing that I think is completely needed in every facet in every community. I think every community, every zip code needs a community mental health advocate,
Yep.
a place where people can privately go for therapy and dump. Because
Right.
sometimes, a lot of the time, is you just need to
need to
dump
get it
the
off.
garbage
And
that
it
you're
need to be
dealing with.
somebody you don't really know.
Somebody you don't really
sometimes.
know. I don't
Mhm.
know you. You don't know me.
So they can't
You know what I'm
pass
saying?
judgment.
I can trust that you ain't finna be throwing all this on
Mhm.
Facebook and this, that, and the other, because that becomes a problem. And I can dump and
Mhm.
get these things off my chest because people don't have that.
Mm-mm.
They don't have it at all.
And why? I did provide that in the community once a month,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
but they won't come.
Mm-hmm.
You get very few people that come. The people that need to come in is free. And I would always have them at a community center on a bus stop. I had a few people that came on the bus,
Okay.
but not that many. Not the I want you to come so we can help you figure it out and give
Mhm.
you these resources. And it's free and we're feeding you.
A
And
few
they wouldn't
is,
come.
but a
Only a
few
few.
is a start.
It's a start.
A few is a start.
A few is a star. What about when I don't know that I have a problem? I functioned this way for 40 years. And I'm 40 years old, so that means that apparently it worked.
I know somebody like that who
But
don't
you,
know that they're
but you
depressed.
leave
Like,
it
hey,
open.
that ain't what this is.
You
You
leave
just
it open for the next generation.
right, and you're not. It's not working for you.
Mm-mm.
You just turned another age, and your stuff
Mhm.
still messed up. Like
Right.
it's not necessarily
Broken.
working.
Right.
So what I just want to know about that part. Let's
Well, I'm gonna
take.
call you out. If you are at your house and you know your child is stealing, robbing, thieving,
Ooh.
beating, and you are on that, you're a part of the problem. If you know that your seed that you done pumped out your womb is out here creating havoc in the community, but you still love said John, Raymond, whatever his name is, whatever
Day
her
Day.
name is, don't get on the news with all your boohoo
Crying.
tears talking about
baby.
he was so good. Well, you
Say
know
something.
you done watched him up a pistol on somebody around you and you condoned it.
I-
Let's just be
Just
real
like the little
clear.
girl in the car. Her mother was that hit in the high speed when she
Mhm.
was speeding, racing, and hit the lady in the
Mhm.
car
Oh,
and
baby,
killed
I
her.
can tell you something
Your
about that.
parent get on the video and basically uphold
The
you
garbage.
for your wrongdoing. I came from Georgia, swerving on them.
Swerving because she want to be
What?
seen.
Georgia.
Now, I want you to understand now, those
Where
children
is
have been
that?
in the foster community for forever. So let me tell you about them 3 degrees of separation. My family had those children and they had to give them back because they were so messed up.
All right,
So they
pause
had to,
there.
that 3 degrees of
Pa-
separation, baby.
And then when the village does get in, and the village says I can't do anything.
Well, you got to
with
protect your own. That type of person will lie and say that you touched them. You're talking about a
Yeah.
husband and wife team.
Okay.
So you got to protect the integrity. If it was just a woman, if it was just, you know what I'm saying, my great auntie, I could kind of see that. But she also had a husband. And they saw those issues with that. So they let the girl go, but kept the boy. But every weekend you go back to your family unless you go to, is it called respite, or whatever you have to go. If you go somewhere, you have to send them there. I think it's called respite.
Mhm.
But anyway, you go back to your family. When you go back to your family, it's like whenever they went back to her, he came back 100% all messed up.
It happens
So
that
it
way.
was
Yeah.
just chaos in the house. If I'm gonna have them or I'm not gonna have them. So you find yourself in those situations to whereas either the system is gonna give them to me or I'm not gonna get them at all because I can't have that back and forth. That little swinging
Yeah.
pendulum
Yeah.
door thing serves no purpose. It serves zero purpose because that's like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna feed you juices and berries today, but tomorrow you eating boo-boo.
Mm. It's a lot. That's a whole lot. And you think about people wanting to be a part of the solution, so they say, "Hey, I'm gonna foster some children. I take that approach." And you can even look at people who will foster their relatives, like
Mhm.
get your nieces and nephews or little
Mhm.
cousins or whoever, and try to raise them as your own to help to close those negative generational gaps. Right?
Right.
Like I want to be a part of the solution for my family because it's been
Mhm.
so many problems. But then what that does to the family, like trying to get in and get involved and help, is stressful.
Right.
The system, once again, Amy, the system does not support the family members that do try to get in. They treat them like they the problem. No, like
Yep.
we trying to help them. What you
Right.
what you need?
It's like they purposely work against you
uh
on purpose.
yeah,
On
yeah,
purpose.
yeah. Like
On
no,
purpose.
we the ones trying to say today, and y'all
Yeah.
Right.
treating us like we
Need
causing
that
the
prison
child.
pipeline. Now,
Right.
wait a minute now. We need that prison pipeline. See, when you have people that actively come in to try to be the solution to it
Mhm.
and fix the why, because the why is so important. It's so important. When you try to fix the why,
That's
you're
the root.
closing the gap of that prison pipeline. See, these are bodies. These bodies right here are worth, y'all a commodity. Black people, if you don't know it, honey, you a commodity. And this Jefferson County.
Even still, right? So the job of the mother is to be a mother.
Huh.
Mhm.
Stand there and be a like be that mother. Like be the mother and build the system. So when you become a mother, like pick a father that's gonna be decent.
Girl,
And
you
how?
don't know. We done all
Yeah,
been there.
how?
Wait a
If we
minute.
can, like pick somebody that's gonna be decent, so that at least
Girl, he decent for the day.
he gotta be. He gotta
Let's
be.
stop being like that,
Man,
right?
he gotta be.
He decent for the
you
day.
know, like maybe by the time you get to
Let's
me,
be
you
real now.
we gotta be real. But maybe by the time you get to
Girl,
me,
you know
you
we
already
picking
made your
body parts
mistake.
that's decent, not the whole man.
Yeah, that's
Stop.
it. You know that now. It's the body parts.
Jody.
Talk about that, bro.
It is. Look, it is what it is. However, because
Hello.
it is what it is, we end up with issues in the community where people don't.
fix it down?
How you fix it?
Do we start when the kids are little?
We have to.
Does
When
it
they
have
start
any-
having cycles? When your daughter start having
Oh my God,
cycles?
that's you just went too
or
far
do
for
you
me.
fix it with yourself
That too, but then like I feel like I fixed that. Well, I'm married now.
because you got married, so
Yeah.
they fixed it?
Not sort of,
uh-uh.
but no.
If
Because
I
I
get-
still could have done. I'm look now. Don't like
So
Stephanie
hold on.
Bird said. Don't hear what I'm not saying.
So
Okay.
look, but filling in the line, like speaking between the lines for people who are listening that they didn't follow where that went. When you talk about motherhood and parenting and all that type thing, and who's present and the type of example that they're setting, when you decide that you're gonna keep the pregnancy and have
Mhm.
this baby with this person that you said may have just been good for the day,
Hello.
that's already a thing right there. Like
20 minutes.
think about it. Like what are we
You
doing?
want
Like
the baby.
what do we so now we're not saying that we're it's none of it. We ain't even going that route. We're just having an open conversation about like how do we even end up in these situations where you gotta find out he ain't gonna be nothing.
Right.
How does that happen?
It's common.
Yeah.
It's
It's
common.
nature.
Like I told you, I don't want no more kids, but you got pregnant. We continue to have unprotected sex. Then you got pregnant. Then
Right.
I abandoned y'all.
Right.
But
yeah.
I already told you I didn't want no more
Right.
children.
And I was showing you
See,
that
I'm
I
doing
didn't.
good on the record, my baby. 21.
No
Then you
more.
stop
Weird.
there.
What? Put
So
some
is
brakes
so is
on
that
it.
the thing we teach people that like, hey, you just don't have children? Like that's kind of
I
that's
say
no,
wait.
no.
I said wait till you really like my son. I told well as they were coming up, I would sit down and tell them all the time. Do you like not having a father figure in your life? No. Okay.
Mm.
Well, if you don't like having a father figure in your life, don't have kids until you're ready to
There
be
you
a
go.
father.
Right.
Because you don't want your children out here feeling
Like
the
you.
way
way
you're
you feeling.
feeling. And also be very careful of our last name.
Mm-hmm.
My sons, my uncle didn't have any kids.
Mhm.
So my children got to carry on the last name.
Mhm.
Don't you
Right.
just give our last name to no nobody.
Right.
Girl, can you say
I know
Don't
I
just
said
For
it
the
to
people
my
in
son.
the back.
our last name to
I
know
said
any
it to
old
my, I
body.
said it to my
Don't
son.
go sleeping with nobody that you're gonna
Mm-mm.
be embarrassed
Oh
that
my
you
Get
got
that
God.
name
pregnant
too.
in the event that you get them pregnant.
Hello.
Let me write this time down so I can remind people tomorrow when they go back and watch the show. To look at 1 hour,
Yeah,
38
because I
minutes.
said that to my
Yes.
son too, because
Yes.
my dad didn't have no boys. He had
Right.
all girls. My son is named directly after
Your
my
dad,
father.
right?
Right. So when I had my child, I knew that his father wasn't going to be upstanding. Now, this is the
Mm.
kicker.
Mhm.
He has degrees. He
Mhm.
makes money.
Say all that don't even
He
matter,
does
right?
well. You
It
know what I'm
don't.
saying? So I went for he in college like I'm in college. He went
So?
on the corner. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You know, he comes from a 2-parent household. I know his mom and dad are just like, you know.
So
So you know what I'm saying? But he was still broken. Right.
Yeah.
So when we
Yeah.
got to talking about it and I told him about the pregnancy, he went left. And so he was broken. So what I did is I went to the men that I knew were really great in my
Like,
life. And I
hey.
had them all at my house because cooking is my ministry. And I fixed a meal. It included my father. And it included a Chinese man, a white guy, a black guy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was
People
a
that
different
you knew,
ethnicity,
right?
right? And I
Mhm.
told him, I said, I have this young man or young boy in my house. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm scared
I need y'all.
because I don't know how to raise a man. That's
Okay.
not my lane. You know how people be like, well, you know, you can raise a dude and this and that. I can teach him to tie his shoe. I
You
can
can
teach him how to be
good person.
mannerable. I
We
can
talked
teach
about
him to
that.
be a
Let-
good
we got
person.
time.
However, I cannot teach him how to be a man. So I went Mission Impossible on your job, if you choose to accept it, is to be available for this boy when he calls you at the drop of a dime. My child can call any of these men, and he's in California, and these men will stop what they're doing,
Mhm.
hop the first thing smoking up out this joint, and we'll go see. They have conversations with my child, my child
That
that I
you
don't even know about.
Right.
Right. And
Mhm.
these are the things that you have to do. What I mean, village, right? Because these men to me were upstanding men in the community, family
Mhm.
men, goal oriented, different walks of life, and different ethnicities.
I'm gonna tell you,
Mhm.
like to that point right there, I know I have a phenomenal dad.
Your daddy, I love your dad.
Thank you, boo.
I love your dad.
Like it's Mother's Day, but you know when you
But you know
have
we daddy
we are right. So we
Right,
share
so we
that.
daddy
We
girls
share
too.
that.
I'm a granddaddy's baby.
And
Daddy's
right. So
girl.
you get it, right? So knowing that, that doesn't take away from how happy I am that it's Mother's Day and how much I love my mama. We have a
Right.
different type of situation though.
Right.
Like I connect with my daddy. And so
Mhm.
therefore when I know, I kind of knew a long time ago it's gonna be super hard to find somebody that I can
Ooh,
vibe
baby.
with like my daddy.
Hmm.
But it's gotta be some similarities. You ain't gotta just look like him or nothing like that.
Right.
You gotta work. You gotta be
Mhm.
you gotta know how to ride a situation like both sides of my family blend. Like
Mhm.
ain't no questions about well, this who sister is that?
Mhm.
But I thought that they are, but they family. You got to know how to do that type of stuff. You got to know how to take care of your family. You got to know how to treat me. You got to know how to get in there and all of that type of stuff. And I know that going back, not even really going back to the dating part, but even the people that I have my daughter around,
Right.
they have to somewhat reflect the characteristics of what she's already seen. You
Right.
shouldn't be
Yes.
so far off the grid that it's traumatizing.
Right.
Mhm.
So, once again, when you know what you need in your village, where do you pull them from? And I think all of us are sitting here with our hands raised, like, hey, at some point in my life, I've been the person that offered myself to be of assistance to make
Mhm.
things better for the world. And I ain't gonna lie, before y'all called me, I was already headed to the lane of if it's not a professional help, I'm tending to my own.
Mm.
Why? Because a lot of times we get so sidetracked trying to fix problems that we didn't create that we
Mhm.
start having problems at
At
our
our
own.
Yep,
house.
that's true.
Mhm.
You out here working in the streets and toiling in the community, and your folk,
Yep.
You got to take care of house first. Sweep your own front
That's true.
porch. I
so,
get it.
right. So not to say that there were some things, but there could be some things when you get distracted trying to deal with other folks' stuff, especially when folk don't want to deal with their stuff.
But
Mhm.
this is why Concerned Sisters
Sisters
United. This is why everybody is a part of the entity.
Right.
Everybody. But you got to take a long look at yourself in the mirror,
Yeah,
sis.
and you got to
For
be
real.
willing.
Like none of us with Jill Scott in my background, it ain't squeaky clean.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes we all have to swim upstream. You ain't no saint. We
We
all
all
a
a
sinner.
sinner.
Right.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So my whole thing is I want to be able to respect that. I know Amy. When people first saw me and Amy get together, we was just on social media talking
That's
smack,
it.
right? And then we went in each other inboxes. She was like, "Girl, what's up?" I was like, "Girl, we disagree." This and that. She was like, "Yeah, we disagree." I was like, "Let's have lunch." And then people would see us out and was like, "Well, wait a minute.
Well, y'all just
Y'all
beefing?
don't even. We weren't beefing.
Yeah.
We just didn't agree about certain
Certain
issues
things.
because you have to have an antagonist
Mhm.
to create the good open conversation. And if
Mhm.
it's healthy, people need to see it as a healthy conversation
Absolutely.
instead of an unhealthy
It
conversation.
has to
Mhm.
play out. Like let us see it play out. Amy and I had a conversation this week, and this is gonna take us out for this first. I think this was a very good, just first layered conversation on a Mother's Day. But there's another part of mothering when it comes to mothering boys or how our men turn out. And this goes
Okay.
along with what we were just saying
Mhm.
about bringing those men from the village in. I want to go to that to end us tonight. Amy, would you like to bring that part in?
Yes. So I have a show coming up in October, and one of the things that the masturbation conversations, we
Okay.
don't talk about sex or masturbating.
Okay.
Okay, so one of the questions that we'll be talking about in October is
It's been
why
hard
are
in my head.
women expecting so much from men that are raised by women?
Ooh, girl, a word.
Well, I raised three sons. I raised
Mm.
three sons, and I can tell you it's so much that I couldn't tell them because I'm a female. I'm not a man. I don't understand some of the things that they're feeling. I don't even basically just do y'all. Y'all got your
Bruh.
game in there. You good? You got snacks? Okay. Yeah, yeah, good.
That's from that perspective. But
Yeah.
then as a
Ooh.
mother of a girl, it's still like with the other part of what we talked about was because
say
I want
that?
it done right.
Yep, that's it. I wouldn't. She
Did you
asked
say
me
that?
why wouldn't. Yeah, she asked me
I
why
say
wouldn't
that.
I.
We,
My kids didn't know how to sweep. They didn't know how to fold
oh,
clothes. Okay, they
Jesus,
didn't know how
honey.
to clean up a bathroom. So she's like, "Well, why didn't you show them?" Well, because they were boys, and I wanted it done right. I didn't
And
want
like I
them
said,
Oh,
to.
I have a
God.
girl and I want it to be done right, but you're
Right.
still gonna do it, and I'm just gonna have to find the energy to show you that you ain't do that right. So let's do it again. Or
Oh,
I'm gonna show
Lord.
you first when I had like it for me,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it is about having the energy to redo it because I'm always moving about, cleaning
Mm-hmm.
up, organizing, wiping some down. And if you're gonna live with me, you're gonna have to live like that. and for whatever reason, we ain't connecting on that.
Nope.
So your chore is to wash the dishes.
Mm,
And when I say wash the dishes, I mean wash them. So when she
Right.
washed them, she washed the hell out of them, and that's on her own. But clean the tub, scrub the
right.
tub.
Do it right.
I don't get it clean like you do. Well, let's see how good you get it.
Let's see what you're
Right.
doing wrong, step by step. Let's
I
make
don't
it
have
happen.
time.
You don't have time for that.
Whatever. I
So
just do
then,
it.
no woman should expect what from your son.
Right.
Him to be able to clean up the way, if you OCD, he ain't for you. Now Jeremy might be, because Jeremy's a little clean. But
Baby.
if you're OCD, he ain't for you. He might not.
And that's crazy.
able
Amy,
to
'cause
teach you how to
I'm a
tie a
hot
tie.
mess. When I say I do the laundry and I put it on one side of the bed and then I don't
Girl.
fold it and I just push it over because I got a California king, honey.
And pick
And
through
I'll
it if
just
you need it.
push it over and
Yeah.
I get through it. My son, his closet is organized by colors. For real.
Oh, he does it.
He does it. He
It
does.
might-
He didn't get it from me. Let me just be real honest about that. Like, I'm gonna run the car through the car wash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure the grass
Ooh.
cut.
Now my
I
children
got
know
my
how to.
little stuff
They don't
like
know how
that.
to cut grass.
But baby, my son
what
watched
about
just better than me.
Solomon? Solomon, because he was raised by his dad.
My baby cut grass. He cleaned gutters. He run the tiller to plant the so I can
Who
plant the
taught him that?
garden. Me. I showed him how to
So you
jump a
also
car.
have-
I showed him how to pop a clutch. You know what I'm saying? But you can't get no car until you can change a tire. You change a tire, you can get a car.
Oh, they don't know how to. Jeremy might know how to change
Whatever.
a tire because he
So
drove
so you might
trucks.
need to do an assessment of what they know how to do, but then you
Baby.
think the role of a mother, like, am I doing a good job when it comes to things like that? So because they don't know how to do things like that, do you feel like you did any that you deserve any less stripes or stars?
Oh, I tell you, I
Mm.
cried. So my
About?
son got ready to go to school and he didn't grow any facial hair.
Okay.
And so he called me and he said, Mom, he said, I found something that you couldn't teach me how to do. And I said, what? He said, shave. He said, I had never shaved.
I could
My
have showed you how to
whole-
shave too.
My whole face was bumped up, all under here, and this is and that. And I felt so bad.
Like, baby, maybe you should wax then. I can show you
No,
that.
you're not finna tell no little boy to wax his face. Girl, stop now.
Jeremy
Quit.
was going through something with his girlfriend one time, and we went over there. He was like, "Mama, me and my mom went over there," and he was like, "Isn't nothing y'all can do?"
Oh.
So I'm like, "Why?" He was like, "Because y'all are women."
Ooh.
And you don't understand how
Now
I'm
leave.
feeling right now.
Right.
Okay. He did. We did.
And he was honest.
But he was honest. We didn't. He needed a male
Man.
to help him
Needed a man.
process. And then because of the things that I taught him, my son almost went broke because of me trying to tell him, well, you got to be the provider. You got to do this. So every time his
Mhm.
girlfriend called him, he was giving her the money and he wasn't doing anything for
Mm.
himself because he thought that that's what he was supposed
But
to
Amy,
do.
maybe she was doing
Mm.
everything because he didn't know how to do nothing. Remember,
That's
he can't sweep.
true. That's true.
He
Yeah.
can't
Don't
clean
think nothing. So she probably thought she had to raise.
Like,
the
baby, yo, you
know,
need to give me
yeah.
that money.
Ladies know that we
Yeah.
all have our battles.
Yeah.
We have all had them. Don't think like you see me and they be like, oh, she own it. Oh, she this. Oh, she that.
Nah.
Baby, listen, I'm a single parent just like you,
Mhm.
boo. Right? And
Struggling.
you might have chose the dude that's doing a 5-year bid. But when he
Mhm.
came out, he come and pick the kids up. I got a degree
Mm.
dude that ain't never spent time with his child. So
It-
that doesn't matter.
Girl.
Integrity and honor flows through the father, through the man. I keep telling people all the time, we are women. We are the people who bring
The
forth life.
nurturers.
We nurture. But that honor, integrity for a person from a boy, from a man to a boy, you cannot duplicate that with
because-
feminine energy.
Can I
There's
really
no way.
show you how to hunt like a man when I have
Nope.
never hunted like
Nope.
a man? I ain't
Yeah,
never
'cause
hunted.
Never.
Look, funny story to kind of make this make more sense for somebody that's like, I hear them, they talking good, but I have a puppy. He's 6 months old. He's 6 months old. He lives with 2 women.
Okay.
First of all, dogs don't use the bathroom like we do anyway.
Right.
Okay.
But he don't even use the bathroom how other boy dogs do. You know, you think that boys are supposed to lift their leg up automatically. If you don't
Mhm.
have dogs or you don't know about dogs, that's just the first thing you think, and you wonder what age they start doing
Doing
it.
it.
Mhm.
So he ain't really doing it like a girl dog. Like he's stretching out.
Like
Like
trying.
like he don't have nobody to show him, but
Right.
it's something in him that's making him know I'm a boy.
Mhm.
So he's trying to do it, but it ain't.
Ain't
It
there.
ain't there.
It ain't there.
Still not there
It
yet.
ain't
And there's
there.
no way I can humanly demonstrate to baby how to do this. So I asked the trainer, I said, so when do they start doing that? Like when they start lifting their leg up? He's like, well, some don't. Some of the boy dogs don't. He said, but one thing about it, when you socialize them with other male dogs and they see
Mhm.
them doing it,
Mhm.
most
Right.
of them will, but
Mhm.
some of them still won't.
Mhm.
And there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with that. I said, interesting.
I
Mhm.
got something to piggyback on this real
Interesting.
quick. My husband,
Mm-hmm.
father he's not really, he's a
Uh-oh, she finna
father.
give all the
Okay, he's
the tea, honey.
available.
We
Okay.
don't have
Oh,
long, so we
Jesus.
can't
Yeah,
take a lot
he's
of it.
available. Right.
Oh,
Okay.
Lord.
But he could be better. Okay. But can he be if he didn't have somebody showing him how to be?
Nope.
I can know what I didn't have, and I can say, it's to each individual. Each individual has their way of, you know what? My mama wasn't open with me about certain things. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm open with mine about
Mhm.
certain things. You know what? My daddy was this way with my mama, and I didn't like it, so I'm not
Not
gonna
gonna
do
be
that.
that way.
You know what? I saw my cousins not graduate from high school, and I see how bad they struggle. So guess what? I
Mhm.
think it's that innate drive in each individual, that motivation and that emotion that drives
Yes.
them to make a different decision from what they saw.
Mhm.
So you know what? I saw people cutting the grass. My daddy went around to show me how to do it, but I want to know how to do it because it needs to be done, and I can make money off of it.
Right.
That's how I look
If
at
that's
that.
what you want to do,
Right.
though.
If that's what you want to do,
Right.
but if that's what you want to do, which is still an innate
Yeah, because I've seen
thing.
kids walking around with the lawnmower. It's one little boy. Now we got a man across the street who's a professional lawn care person.
Hmm.
But when I see that little teenage boy walking around the neighborhood with the lawnmower, that's who I want to cut my grass
Yeah.
because he's a teenager looking for some money. This whereas my professional neighbor, he got a whole clientele. He's got
Right.
regulars every day.
Yeah, so you good.
Yeah, so you good. But this boy, if he's walking around the neighborhood
Mhm.
with the lawnmower, he's in need of something.
Right.
He's looking for work and he wants some money. So I'd
Right.
rather use him.
Oh yeah.
Closing thoughts, ladies. What you got? What you thinking? Nina, this was your brainchild to
Well,
bring the
you
group
know
of
I'm
ladies
raw,
together.
honey. So I am putting the whereabout to all of the young ladies that were listening, the listening ears of those, the gentlemen that were to reach out, because CSU is not just uh Nina, Amy, and Woo. It rhymes. It's not just us. It is also you.
Yep.
And we want you to be a part of what we have going on. And in order to do that, you have to reach out, because I know we are resourceful and we can make those things happen. And I
Mhm.
want everyone to be able to each one teach one.
Yep.
So this is the girl. I know you don't want nobody to say nothing to you about this, that, and the other. Okay, I'm gonna listen to you first. And you could probably talk smack to me.
Yep.
But when you finish,
I'ma let
What
you
we gonna do to
finish.
I'm gonna
resolve
let
it?
you say it again, Will.
I'm gonna let you finish.
I'm gonna let you finish. But
Mhm.
when you finish, we're gonna start with the first step. And that first step is, say it, Amy.
I want y'all to stop upholding other black people for their bull just because they are black.
Hello.
Okay.
Foundation, baby. Let's see
That's
what
it.
you got.
Yeah. So breaking it all the way back down to the bare skin of it all, to the core of it all. That's important. Like identifying what the real issues are. And I think tonight we talked about a lot of stuff in like just life in itself and how issues can be picked out of that because of perception. You never know how people see what you're doing and how they're impacted by it. So think about your children when you do things, when you move a certain way, when you say things, um, how they see you handle conflict, how they see you when you get jealous, when you get upset, like when you don't have what you need, how do you
Mhm.
respond? All of that's important. And I think that is what we talked about tonight, just from our own personal experiences. Amy, what you want to leave them with?
If you ain't got no money, don't get in these folks' system.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
How can you avoid the system? So, and it not just avoiding the system, but the system is what we're in. So when you get in it, knowing how to navigate it and knowing who
Mhm.
to call on when you need that assistance, that's important as well. And that's very much vital. Ladies, I've enjoyed having you all tonight.
Thanks
Great
for having
show.
us.
Thanks for everybody who commented and added that they felt that this topic was very much needed. And I applaud you ladies for having the audacity to have this conversation. God bless Vital Show and the guests, Nina and Amy. Enjoyed and blessed by this conversation. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Be sure to catch me in the morning, 10 a.m., all the way to about 4. I'll be here too long.
Yeah, I think you live here. This your house.
I'll be back home in the morning at 10. Turn me on. Good night. Be vital.
That was a
Good night, everybody.
It was a very